theatricality and deception. Powerful agents to the uninitiated, but we are initiated.
I'm super excited!
FEMA took away all the stuff that the local people was giving out on the side of the road and said, no, okay, it's we're gonna take over. Yeah, they took over. These guys went down to Lahaina with a lowboy with all the water and all this stuff, and they hoarded all of that stuff. They took it away from everybody. Why? The locals was doing a killer job. They opened up, spots here, there. Our small county was doing the same thing. They was giving out meds. They was doing all this stuff. Everybody was trying. The local people, everybody was just all working together. And then FEMA and all these guys come in and they kiboshed. And then they wonder why nobody believes in Red Cross and FEMA and all.
Hi. So I am outside the alleged spot where there's apparently 3,800 bodies being stored in refrigerated containers. So I am here to investigate. So I'm actually standing in front of a dentist building. This is the back side of the edge of it. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there is refrigeration. I can hear the generators. I mean, maybe that's typical that you refrigerate items. Can you tell me what kind of items you would be refrigerating with tactical command police vehicles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 refrigerated mats and containers right here. Why don't you ask the question? That's what I want to know. Why'd they build a fence around it? It's a little sus to me. Here's from the other side. Horizon containers. Can you guys hear it? They're refrigerated. What do you need at the forensic facility that is it behind a fence with flowers and tactical support vehicles? I'm just wondering. Why do you need this? Tactical police. Gotta watch this. Okay, I had to put my phone away because I was walking by that cop. He was staring me down that whole time. He was on patrol watching. He kind of unrolled his window and looked at me a little bit, like just wondering if I was gonna go walk in there. But there's a spot in the fence that's completely open. If you want to come down here, just go to that dentist office. You go stand right there, you'll hear the refrigeration. It's not a conspiracy. Go check it out. I want to know why, hey Josh Green, why is there this body count? Why is tourism opening, but we don't even know who the victims are? And the forensic facility has all these refrigerated trucks out there. You tell me.
How could this car, okay, the building is perfectly fine. We got a concrete parking lot, right? I mean, even the trees are still good. And yet we got this guy. I mean, this car is melted, bro. This thing got absolutely melted. I mean, there's nothing. Someone probably threw that water bottle in there, but look at this thing, man. Now talk to me, people. Somebody, not a conspiracy theorist, but somebody that understands something about fires. Tell me, in the midst of this fire, is there an ember that's big enough that could float over here, incinerate this car, melt it, and nothing else around it? I don't think it was moved here, right? I don't think it was moved here. That's just tripping me out. How did it catch fire? What happened? I don't even see flame marks back there. I see marks here, brown, black. You can see it happened here, right? But how? And why is this building fine? And how does it catch fire surrounded by it's the same thing I've been showing you before. I just don't get any answers from anybody that make any sense, other than everyone trying to throw me under the bus. Curious again, how did this little lot here catch fire? Trilogy is right next door. It appears to be in good shape. The sticker or the placard says, you know, structure is okay, but then you got this situation next door where everything is just melted. Again, maybe there was some kind of, you know, I don't know. Why is all this on fire? Or why did it all, there's not even a structure here. But again, I don't know, just piles of ashes of stuff that was clearly made out of some kind of tin foil or metal or something. I don't know, the metal really took a hammering on this fire. If you were metal, I mean wood, you're kind of good, right? Wood, yeah, you're not too bad. You're metal, you're done. Drywall is good. This structure here has got wood on it, propane tanks next to it. It looks perfectly fine. But this stuff next door, whatever it was, gone. This, gone. So maybe someone can find an old, you know, an old Google Earth photo, and because you can still see the scorch marks on the building. Okay, so how'd this thing catch fire? Scorch marks, right? It was definitely burning right here. Just a random car fire? Random truck fire? I don't know, man. I don't know, you tell me. Last time I showed this to the world, I got in so much trouble. You know, I'm a bad guy because I'm showing the world like melted stuff. Again, maybe I'm just an amateur. Maybe you're a fireman out there, a fire marshal or an arsonist specialist or some kind of government official that says, hey, Eric, this is how it works. There's these large embers that just fly around and just randomly car bomb, you know? Okay, I'd probably believe you. But that there's nothing else around here that could have caught it on fire. There's the propane tank, it's still good. But look at this. Whoop. Right, so we know the fire didn't come from here. This is a big concrete ditch. Now this was on fire down below. You can see this is scorched. So the fire went along here, but not a lot of fuel. So what caused these buildings, these particular buildings, to go up? I don't know the answer. Again, just curious, right? Interesting. What I find the most interesting about this is the fact that there's really nothing else around here that caught fire. Once again, across the street, Calvary Chapel, Island Grocers, this is Ali'i Linen Service, everything is still good to go. And yet these buildings are completely, utterly gone.
This is an emotional meeting. Nani, you mentioned a moment ago, this is not about Maui. This is absolutely about Maui. And my concern, and I'm actually speaking to each of you sitting around this table. Each of you have a placard representing an organization. And I have a question before I actually have my testimony. By a raise of hands, have any of you, or are any of you participating in an event, in a restructuring as a stakeholder on Maui at any level, whether you're state, federal, private, or a private citizen? Are you engaged? Are you a stakeholder? Are you written? Is your name listed as a stakeholder of any of the redevelopment plans regarding a smart city? By a raise of hands, I would like to see a raise of hands, because the information is out there. Raise of hands. I can tell you, Department of Planning, DLNR, DBED, Housing, all of these agencies, and I'm not saying to you directly, but you're here representing these agencies, therefore, it is your responsibility to tell the truth. Each one of these agencies have signed on as stakeholders for the redevelopment of a smart city in Maui. I'm asking you again, who has signed on?
So I'm sorry, but I asked for testimony pursuant to the agenda, and there's nothing on the agenda about smart cities. And if we could also refrain from yelling.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, and I'll provide clarification. Smart cities is everything about housing. The idea that you're going to sit around this table, and I realize it's not on today's agenda, but the idea that you're going to sit around this table and make decisions about the long-term viability of sustained life on Maui without the people's input, I can tell you, is this a charade? It is true. Try go to Hele Mai Maui 2040.
Okay, we're going to take a break. We're going to take a 5-minute break. I have repeatedly stated we are not discussing Lahaina. Just to calm temperatures down. We will come back in 5 minutes. We're taking a recess.
You're all responsible, and I would like to talk to you when you say that it's not true. I can tell you, Hele Mai Maui 2040. Look at the stakeholders, and you're going to find all of your departments listed as stakeholders. Okay, I'll be right here.
You know, it's stunning to monitor the media's lack of interest in the whole Maui story. I've been in this business for 30 years. I'm stunned, but I'm not surprised. The incident seems to be the story here, right? But the true story, the media knows it is not allowed to tell. Is it a coincidence that the Maui police chief is the same man who was in charge in Las Vegas during that massacre that killed 58 people? Is it a coincidence that the Maui property, owned by million and billionaires, it wasn't touched by the flames while homes of the locals all burned?
What she fails to also mention is how the media hasn't even once interviewed a grieving parent. Not a single parent looking for their children. Not a single interview with a child. Not a single interview with the schools.
Was it a coincidence that the largest system of outdoor emergency sirens in the world never made a sound as the fire devoured Lahaina? Was it a coincidence that at the same time, very same time, all the water was turned off? Was it a coincidence that police were ordered to block off streets and to funnel all the cars trying to escape? Think about this coincidence. That governor also signed an emergency proclamation on July 17th, 3 weeks before the fire, about housing of all things. Is it a coincidence that the government put up a black fence around Lahaina, or that the FAA grounded all drones from flying over the affected areas? Is it a coincidence that since at least 2011 there have been plans to make Maui the first smart city run by 100% renewable energy, and that it must be a coincidence then that the locals whose homes did not burn are now being evicted from their property? And of course, a total coincidence that all the fact checkers who are checking these facts, who say everything I just told you is just a coincidence, are also owned and run by BlackRock.
I get asked all the time on TikTok, how's the rebuilding going in Lahaina? Well, see for yourself. what is it, 5 months after the fire? Nothing's been done. No rebuilding. They put up some beautiful kids paintings right here to color, you know, to make it nice and bright with colors. But no rebuilding has started whatsoever. Meanwhile, people still have to pay mortgages and are getting eviction notices, even though their house burned down and they haven't gotten money from the insurance company yet because they're dragging their butts. Ridiculous.
Streets, our house, new house, everybody, the streets. We not can live on the streets. We don't have a house. Yeah. At least give us a piece of land for live on.
Keep Hawaiian lands in Hawaiian hands.
You guys
Yeah, Hawaiian.
We Hawaiians. This our land. This our way of life.
This is the most recent of a series of arrests and evictions from the beaches of Hawaii. But with close to 90% of the people of Hawaii unable to afford their own homes, this incident will probably not be the last. This is Puhi Pau from Waimanalo.